Hey, this is everything I've learned over 25 years running a successful business in one video. This is what I wish I would have learned when I first started out on day one. It would have saved me a tremendous amount of misery and discomfort and needless worry. Forget making more money and all that kind of great stuff. Just the sacrifice and pain I could have avoided by knowing these 10 things. It's worth your time. And you want to know this because there is a fate worse than bankruptcy when you own your own business. It's this resentment. You want to pay attention to these 10 rules because you don't want to wish you never started this business of yours. You don't want to feel like you don't own a business, you own a job. It is the absolute worst, and I want to help you get away from there if that's where you're at. Okay. Here are the 10. The first one is redefine success. Obviously, revenue is really, really important. We all have the $1 million dream. I get it. We all want to make more than enough. But I'll leave that part to you. I want to get you to think about things like this: freedom and autonomy. Part of the success of owning your own business is you get to do work that you love for people that you admire, and you don't have to do work you dislike for clients you wish you didn't have. Okay. There's freedom in this. There's a freedom of mobility and location. Okay. You can autonomy, you do work your way. I go work from my cottage all summer long. I do a little bit of work from ski hills in the winter too. Not ski hills, but ski chalets. It works. Define success. Don't get sucked into what other people think you should be doing with your business. It's your business. It's your inspiring vision of success. Okay. So I want you to absolutely think about that. Here's the second: embrace the 80-20 rule. It'll save you. This is critically important. 80% of your revenue will come from 20% of your clients. 80% of your revenue will come from only 20% of the things that you do, which means that most of the things that you busy yourself with every day don't need to be done. They're non-essential. Double down on those activities and those clients who count for everything. Those 20% clients that generate 80% of your revenue, they're who you never want to lose. They're the ones that are more likely to spend more, and they are the ones that can bring you other clients exactly like them. Build from that group of clients in the top 20. And then as far as the activities go, there's all kinds of stuff that goes on in your office every day. You can't be responsible for all of it. I only do 3 things a day. I talk to rooms full of people. I speak on the telephone to people who book people like me for conferences, and I write stuff. That's what I do. And if you're thinking, I've never seen you before, I'm watching your video. I love you. I love this video. I'm so glad we found it. Okay, well, I don't want to ruin everything, all the magic here. I'm going to shoot 2 weeks of videos in 1 hour. And I'm never going to think about this stuff again other than to comment on the lovely things that you might choose to say. Otherwise, what do you think I'm doing with all my time? This is a bottom 80% activity, this stuff. For the rest of the time, I'm going to be talking to people who book people like me and pay us tens of thousands of dollars an hour. That's what I'm going to do. Live the 80-20 rules in your life and in your business, by the way, outside of your business too. Okay, build a business that serves your life. These are 3 sort of fundamental truths for me. It's so simple, but everybody else builds their business first and then fits their life in, and that's not sustainable. Hey, you have to build a business that supports your life. I like to take a lot of time off. I got to build a business that supports that. I can't commit to doing things I'm never realistically going to do. I can't run, at least at this stage of my life, an online community where we have regular meetings that I got to check in for. I'm too busy doing other things. Some of those other things are fun. I'm not going to be anywhere near a connection. So it's unrealistic for me. Do you see what I'm saying? To start initiatives like that don't work perfectly, integrate perfectly with my existence. There's no such thing as work-life balance. It's work-life integration. You're not whoever you are at work and then whoever you are at home. I'm just one person. Sometimes I'm working, sometimes I'm not working. You have to build a business that supports your life. I never work Fridays. I take off a lot of Mondays. I take most of the summer off where I turn away a ton of revenue. Okay, that's why. Because that's the business that I have to live the way I want to live and be who I want to be. Here's number 4. You're doing fantastic. Serve someone, not everyone. Okay? Niche, weird. This is this little riddle that I came up with years ago, this little framework. You want to be as niche as possible, okay? Serve as small a market as possible. People on the fringe, people who care. I've always used skateboards in this example. I don't know anything about skateboards. I'm not a skateboard person, but here it is. If you said to me, I want to start a business and make skateboards, I'd say, okay, well, don't make skateboards for a guy like me. I might buy a single skateboard in my whole entire life and I don't know anything about them. I'm going to go to the nearest sports store. I'm going to buy a skateboard and I'm going to want it to cost less than $150. If you're going to build skateboards, you want to build skateboards for people who are passionate about skateboards, for people who have opinions on skateboards, for people who have a frustration about some element or aspect of skateboards that they can't believe nobody has fixed. Do your work for people who care because they're searching for you. And when they find it, find you, they're going to celebrate it and they're going to tell the people they know. When you're building something for everybody, you got to knock off the edges and smooth it out and make it as inoffensive as possible to make it as appealing as possible to as many people. Don't do it. Only make something and be proud of it. No, this is only for people who care about this one thing and like this aesthetic or whatever the hell it is. I'm telling you, I appeal to people who are really, really turned on by taking a lot of time off, okay, and working with and staging experiences to create more value for clients. There's a million business owners in the world that can work with me. I'm not interested. I'm only interested in appealing to the people who think the same way I do. You should too. Here's number 5. Make work that pulls people in. Okay. Don't make your work that pushes people. Make work that pulls people. Everything is for sale. Okay. It's impossible to sell anybody anything. The most persuasive salesman for your products and services, your experience, your what have you, are people who are already convinced, people that already like you. Okay. Work on experiences, move away from services. Services are commoditized. They compete on, which means they compete on price, and they're efficient. They compete on efficiency. Don't. Instead, stage experiences that engage and delight people. Instead of obsessing constantly about how to save people time, obsess about how you can make time with your company more meaningful and memorable, deeply, deeply personal. That's what experience is. It's time well designed. Some businesses, I want to make it easy for you to come into the store and buy this cup as soon as possible. No, you want to stage experiences, okay? Where I want you daydreaming about coming back to the store. From the minute you get into the store, I want you to feel something. And I don't want you to feel, oh, good, there's the mug I want. I can grab it and get the hell out. I want you to feel like you belong. I want you to feel curious. I want you to feel welcome. I want you to feel desire to go look around the corner and look on other shelves. That's what I want. I want you to feel like the staff cares about you being there. Okay, that's what I want. I'm not interested in beating a drum saying, look at me, look at me. I'm interested in working through existing clients and creating something amazing that pulls people in, grabs their attention and holds it. Okay. And nothing holds attention more than a story about how fantastic you are that I hear from someone I know, like, and trust already. And I'll say, well, tell me about that again. Where is this? Who is this person? Oh, I love that. I'm going to go there and check it out. Okay, so just trust me. It's way easier than prospecting or marketing. Number 6, experience, services, belonging. Okay, just keep this in mind that at the end of the day, what we are trying to do is create a sense of belonging. That's what the very best brands in the world have in common. People talk about them, right? If it's a great brand or a great band or a great restaurant, what do they all have in common? A place in your neighborhood that's only in your neighborhood, a national chain, a global brand. People talk about it. And they don't talk about what they do. They don't, they talk a little bit more about how they do it. Nobody talks about the thing. They talk about the experience of buying it and they talk about the consequence of buying it. Since I had this, I've been able to do this. I have felt this way. So that's the business that you're doing too, serving someone, not everyone, making work that pulls people in and has, this is the last one, a consequence. Service is interesting, experience is much more interesting, but who you help them become is everything. Let's go to number 7. Tell a bigger story than you're good at what you do. Okay, tell a bigger story than you're good at what you do. What you do is a service and it's commoditized. You're not the only one that's good at it. Okay, this is more about consequence. You want to talk about what happens to people who become your client. What do you think happens to people who become my client? If your hunch is they start having more fun and more adventures, you're correct. Do I talk about frameworks? Do I talk, very often anyway, about the nuts and bolts of the work that, we're doing over here? No. What I talk a lot about is the consequence of my clients. This is my client. This is their business. This is their situation. This is what they love to do. This was the problem they had. I don't talk about how we solved it. I talk about the consequence of selling it. And now my client sends me emails that say, thanks for changing my life. Okay. What's the point of all of this work you're doing? What's the consequence? If somebody hires you to, to perform these services and you do it adequately, okay, other than solving that little service problem for them, they're done. I've done this for you that you needed. What happens after that? And as a consequence, what? That's what you're talking about. Okay? That's the bigger story. Here's number 8. It's a beautiful one. Default to generosity. This is been one of my biggest secrets. I let people have it. People that email in to my, ask at email address and say, hey, I saw you speaking. I saw you speak and you said this really cool thing. And I really, really liked it. And you mentioned this thing, this report, this article, this essay. This is a person who's emailing in who's never going to pay me. They'll never pay me. No, never. And if you're thinking, how does this fit into your 80-20 rule? That's a really good question. When I have a little bit of time like this, and this person has no chance, I have no chance of ever getting $1 out of this person, just be like right bottom line about it, I'm still generous. How many emails do I get every day into my Ask Ad account? Not that many. I'll send that person that article and I'll even tell them what to do. Okay, I'll give it away. When I speak, I put up this big QR code and I tell everybody, point your phone at that. And what they get is not just a thing. It's like I give them all my stats, all my research, all my information, all my everything. And I tell them exactly what to go and do. Default to generosity. Okay, it'll serve you in all things. Make it beautiful. That's the long game. It might not be a 20% activity, but I have so much goodwill in the marketplace. It's crazy. Do you know how many people just think I'm a good person? What's your brand? Your brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room. I bump into people look at me up online. People say nice things about me all the time because I'm constantly giving it away. Here, you can have this. Oh, hey, from stage when I'm talking. Hey, by the way, I call out to the organizer. If you want, you have my permission. You can just give everybody my slides. And then they say, Dennis, that was very generous. What about your slide notes? Those are like my own thoughts on what the hell I'm going to talk about. What good are the slides without my thoughts? Of course they can have that too. I give away as much as I can. I could do an entire video on generosity. Okay, here's number 9. Systematize the boring. You need systems and process. Okay, you need systems and process, but personalize the meaningful. The challenge that you have to watch out with automation, for example, I am certain that you could prove having an automated answering service at your office. You call a business that says, thank you for calling. Your call is very important to us. Please stay on the line. And then they ask you, tell us why you're calling. Press 1 for this, press 2 for that. Okay, I'm convinced that if you did a stopwatch, you would see that is quicker for the client to call in and do the work themselves. But it's costing the business. You want to have systems and process for sales processes and how we do things. You want to have a procedures manual for how your business works. But the procedures manual has to create the structure your team needs, that allows them to flourish, that allows them to be themselves. Don't take the humanity out. Get rid of the automated attendant. Have a human being answer the telephone so they can make a connection, okay? So they can ask a good question, so they can share the right thought and make the right impression. And here's number 10, build belonging. Everything that we do for our clients is to move them away from the transaction, not about the transaction. It's not about the service. It's not about the product. It's about two things: the experience, because it's how we make you want to feel, and how we want to make you feel is like you belong. You belong here. You are known, you're seen, you're safe, you're understood. We're creating opportunities for you to participate, okay? This is a place where when you walk in the door, you know you're not just a client. And we want to belong to you too. We want to be the business that gets your extra steps. You pass other businesses that offer you the same goods and services, products and services that we have. You come here because this is a place that gets you. And this is a place that, if I may, it's about identity, right? And those businesses that do that, your business, that's that story that's bigger than we're good at what we do. It's the big idea you're asking your clients to buy into. Those are 10 things, okay? And I told you this. I said, if I would have known this when I got started, I don't even want to think about where I could be right now. And what I could have earned and what I could have given away. Oh my goodness. These are 10 and they're solid gold. So thanks for your attention. Do me a favor. Watch this video.